Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back. We are live. I've been gone for a week and a half, 2 weeks, actually. I took a trip to the Arctic Circle in Alaska, and I went north of the Arctic Circle, where only 2% of all travelers in the world ever venture. So I'm part of that 2%, and I got a certificate that says I visited the Arctic Circle, and I saw the natural phenomena of the Northern Lights. It was just phenomenal, very beautiful, very spiritual. Came back transformed and ready to dive into the next chapter of work. So I know you've been watching a couple of replays over the last 8 shows or whatnot, and I appreciate that. And today we're going to jump back in and have a wonderful guest with me who's a spiritual artist. Wait till you see her work. She channels through her art, but she's also a messenger of spirit, like most of us who do this kind of work in the spiritual, psychic, spiritual evolution field of human potential. And Joan of Angels is she's not only a public speaker, but she's got this galactic thing going on that she's going to explain. She comes from another position on frequency, and yet it comes through in her beautiful art, which you're going to see momentarily once I bring Joan on. She'll tell her story. She'll tell you where you can find her and probably how you can have a session with her. And most of all, order her art. Let's bring her on. Let's bring on Joan of Angels. She's in Arizona. I'm in California. You guys are everywhere. Hi, Joan. It's nice to see you.
It is so nice to see you, Dr. Linda.
Thank you for joining us. She and I met at the Conscious Life Expo early February. We connected instantly. We know a few people in common, and it was one of those coincidental, oh, I know who you are type of feeling. So I said, come on the show. So here we are. And in a moment, we'll show some of your beautiful artwork, but please give a little background on how you evolved into all of this, because you're a multi-talented entrepreneurial type like me. I don't just do readings. I don't just do candle magic, or the broadcasting. I've got a brand, and so do you, but you come in from spiritual art. And I love the paintings because I'm on your newsletter list, and I'm stunned by some of the beauty. We'll show them in a minute, but tell us your background. How did all this evolve?
Oh, God, I started off all of this as a chiropractor many, many years ago. And when I was 30, I had a vision that I was here to heal and inspire millions of people. I was on stage in the Coliseum with an amazing, beautiful, angelic being behind me, millions of people crawling in front of us. And she and I were waving these wands, and people would stand up and walk away. And that's when I knew that I was here to heal and inspire millions of people. And that guided my entire life. And
but
so I
became a past life recall from maybe the Roman Empire days, and you had a flashback bringing it in. That's what I get. It goes back to the Roman Empire days. Go on, I
want to hear more about that.
I put it together, and it's like, okay, now I see. Go on, let's hear it. This is cool.
That's hysterical. Yes, I think it was that lifetime, but
yeah, one of them.
Healing and inspiring millions of people, and that always stuck through me. And when I stopped practicing chiropractic, I started healing people through aligning their body, mind, and spirit to remember who they are and why they're here.
What does that mean? What does that mean? People think they know who they are and where they come from. We know the story, but the depth of the soul, as you and I know, is a little different than what we think. And so you're clearing away the veils, the negativity, the emotions.
We are clearing away the veils, what stops people from really understanding their mission and their purpose and their passion. So we clear away what stands in their way of really knowing who they are and why they've come here to the planet, what their role is here on the planet, what they're here to do, and why they're here. and it's actually very astounding. And so, and I help people step into miracles, how to have your life be what you want so you can be who you think you are and live that life of your vision. So that is what I do. In 2013, I got an upgrade, an energetic upgrade. My angels told me to paint 33 angels in 30 days, which I
Wow.
was not an artist. So they said, paint these angels. And I really tried to get out of it.
Started?
What was
Okay,
that?
stop right. That's how that started. Rebel, can you bring on one or two of her paintings? So split the screen, see some of this artwork that was channeled through this woman about 15 years ago. This is channeled. This is without going to art class, people. It just came through her. This is, which one is this, Joan?
Now, these are some of the new art that I do, that I channel and I create them digitally. But she is actually an Atlantean high priestess.
What else do you have there, Rebel? We'll come back to that in a moment, because I think there was one with the hearts. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I'm a heart woman.
Well, because life is about love. The bottom line is love. Life openly and vigorously expressed. It's all about love. If we could just get rid of all the negativity out there, we'd have a happier planet. Go on. This is phenomenal. Go
You're
on.
so right. Absolutely. So they told me to paint 33 angels in 30 days. I hung them up on the wall, obviously the wall. It became an angel portal, and a book falls off the bookshelf, and it says, "Your cry for angelic assistance has been heard." So I knew I was on the right. I had chills saying it too.
I love that.
So I knew I was on the right path, and then they said in the book, a day or two later, it opened up again. It said, "To be one of the chosen ones, you must choose." Now that statement changed my whole life. It meant that not only was I being called to do something, but I had to actively say yes. I had to step in. And ever since then, I've learned that when I hear these messages from Spirit, it's in my yes. It's that ability to say yes that takes us to new levels. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I've been doing.
I think that's phenomenal. And you have a private practice. Where can people find you on Instagram? I know I saw your YouTube channel. You've got a lot of different videos up there. You interview people, people interview you. It's all part. We all do the same thing. We help each other. I'll probably be on your show soon. But you help in private practice. You lecture and you do your art. And you sell the art as, I guess, prints to people who want them. But do you do personalizations? Like if I said, okay, Joan, draw my spirit, would you come up with something that was specific to me? Is that what you do, or does it come out from what they dictate?
Okay, so Dr. Linda, this is astounding. I do what I call cosmic soul essence portraits.
Wow, and that's a lot of words.
Yeah, cosmic soul essence portraits. So we start off by doing a session, so I get a sense of who you are, and then it could take me several weeks, up to a month, for all the images to start to really come through. And then I turn it into a little video of maybe 20 or 30 different soul aspects. I show you the video, we go through it, I share what's come through the channelings. And then we kind of choose it together, the one that we feel most represents who you are on these other levels. If you could see yourself as your higher self, if you can see yourself from above down, you would see the most astounding aspects of who you are and who you've been. And so then I create.
Do the auras come through besides a certain level of color that represents the different frequencies that we vibrate at? I'm curious because I've had these done, but people out there listening, it may be brand new to them. So they need to understand what all this means.
So it doesn't come out as an aura kind of painting. It really comes out with an aspect of showing you who you are on other levels. I have a couple of those videos on my YouTube channel. I should find them and show them. In fact, while we're talking, I'll look and show you. I'm just finishing up another one, but I haven't had permission yet to show it to all of you guys.
Okay. Right. Let me ask the producer. She's in Louisiana. Rebel, are there other photos you can bring up right now?
Under services. She might see them under services.
No. I sent her certain images.
Okay.
So they're already programmed. There we go. What's this one?
I'm passionate about flowers. Now, if you could see the flowers from a higher vibrational level, so you can see the energy around these colors, these energies around the flowers themselves, the fairy essences in them, this is what you might see.
What else do you have there, Rebel? I think there were 5 or 6. What's this one? Looks like women. It looks like sex. It looks like anatomy. It looks like flowers. What do you got going on here?
All of the above. It is breaking us down. You can also see the eyes in it. So in a way, you can see.
I see the eyes. Yes.
The eyes and those beautiful leaf-like. So this is our soul, our energy. If you could see it, I think without eyes, in a sense, if you could see it through your third eye, and you're sitting up there on the 12th dimension, this is how I might look to you, or you might be looking to others. The energies of your body, the light energies in this other consciousness field.
That's so beautiful. Okay, let's go back, Rebel. I don't know if there's this one, the child. I love this one of the mystique and the magic of spirit. You know, you've got so much going on here, like it's being protected and it's whispering, you know, of safety and protection, but light and love. What came through when you did this one, Joan?
Well, I was asking for star seeds, you know, the star seeds that I know who are going to be having star seeds and star seed babies coming into the planet with their advanced brilliance already.
A lot of people don't know that. Our generation is star seed, then you have the indigos and everything, but most of us are the star seed, which we know we're not from this earth. And who was it? Brad Steiger wrote the book, one of the original books on star seed, with all the different elements and symptoms and differences in our physiology versus, quote, the normal people with our temperature or an extra rib or lower, hair color, bones. Everything is a little different with the star seed, even though we're more attuned, psychic, spiritual, intuitive, whatever you want to call it. We're at a different vibration, people. I've been talking about this for 30 years, and you learn from different people how all of this comes to being and where you are on your journey and how you can ascend into more. And that's what Joan does. She takes away, like what I do in the healing, removing the blocks, obstacles, negativity at the cellular level. Joan takes it from a different cosmic level. You put it together, you're going to have one hell of a ride on this planet. Go on, Joan.
So that's what I do. So what's your next question, in a sense?
Well, the next question would be like when you're doing public speaking, where can people see you, or do you have anything lined up coming up? This is March of 2024. Anything coming up this summer?
God, I did a lot of stuff on stage. I'm going to be in Barcelona.
Oh, great.
In June at a big ufology conference, and I'm in the middle right now of looking for other places to speak over in Europe. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be speaking back here in the US yet. Probably Conscious Life Expo, but I haven't set up stuff for before that yet. But I'm speaking online a lot. And if you sign up on my Joan of Angels, you'll find out where you can see me.
Okay. And are you educated chiropractor's bachelor's, and then the DC is a 4-year college degree for it's medical. I understand that. But did you do any other training on the spiritual level, or did you transfer from chiropractic into the spiritual? Like I have the master's in epidemiology, then I got into metaphysics because of a plane crash. You know, I don't know if you know my story, but yeah, I became a walk-in the day of the plane crash, and that's my story opening up in 1981. But what do you think pushed you from science into spirit? Because not everybody has that bridge. A lot of people do, especially the chiropractors, naturopaths, the healers, the shamans.
Mm-hmm. So before I became a chiropractor, I got my master's in counseling, and I actually came to LA. I was living in New York. I came to LA and I moved into an ashram after that when I was 25. So I moved into the movement of spiritual inner awareness, which were the people that formed the Santa Monica University. So I
did Insight.
Oh, and the funny thing about Insight is I actually did the very first Insight training.
You don't think it was brainwashing? I have hated it.
It was complete brainwashing. And I was one of the first people to leave the movement when all the scandals came out about that. But I started 75 to about 80. And it's when I started chiropractic school also. So when I graduated, I moved up north. But by the time I graduated, I left the movement. But that was where I began my first awakening of understanding that there's so much more here than we see with our eyes.
Cognitive versus spiritual, the mind, body, spirit.
Mhm.
Because most of us are like this, then we go like this, and the blinders come off, and then you ascend and you start to really see. I have a lot of mixed emotions. I'll discuss with you off the about insight. But if I could have a choice to have taken 1 and 2, would I have done it? No, especially 2. I would not have done what 2 did to me. It's destructive. But we can talk
Yeah.
about that later. Yeah, no, I had a
Mhm.
horrible experience. But I'm here. That was 30 something years ago. But people, if you want to call in, I don't know if I don't see anybody in the chat today because you guys didn't know I was coming back. But you can call in if you're out there at 561-623-9421 and speak to Joan, ask questions. She's got a phenomenal career in our soul. And a lot of times I will help people who are so stuck and not loving themselves, or they've lost themselves, to say, okay, take away every title you've ever had, whether it's mom, daughter, sister, aunt, student, doctor, artist, musician, trucker, whatever your thing has been as a title. Take away all of the titles that people have ever given you. Stand naked in front of the mirror and look at your own eyes. And what do you see is the essence of your own soul. I mean, that's all that's there is us. And we get so convoluted with life and problems and issues and positive things and negative things. It gets overwhelming. It gets very overwhelming. And you got to get back to soul through prayer, meditation, and breath. Just let it out, because we're here for the moment. The past can't hurt you. The future can scare us because we don't know it. But when you stay in the moment, you start to make your goals again. It starts to unfold when you're in line with the synchronicity of the planet for what's right for your purpose, which is probably what you'd help people understand when they're on track or they're off track as to what their soul purpose requires, right? That they
Right.
get into their own tunnel, their own lane. A lot
So
of
I
people
have a thing about my heart. One of the things I love to work with is, how do you know you're on the right path? And that's when your heart sings, literally.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know?
When you got fewer obstacles, because when you keep hitting the wall trying to prove something or get something done, and it doesn't work, but you keep going and going and going, and then one day you just turn left. The definition of insanity, thanks to Einstein, was doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And when you finally let go and you see, oh, there is more. A lot of people get afraid to take that chance that there could be more. Okay. Or
Mhm.
something outside the box, or the way they were raised, or I was raised Jewish, but when I became more spiritual, there was a guilt shift. I had to process the fact that there was more to my God or my understanding of the universe than a temple or a rabbi, that I was in this little box. And then it opened up to the world, whether it's Christianity or Hinduism or Buddhism. And there's all these isms out there, and it's all one. It's just all one. And that's what we do, is we come back to self, which is soul, which is connected to the universe. So when somebody comes to you, let's call the guy Bob. Bob's a trucker, and he drives across country, and he's tired, and he's got his family at home, and he wants to do something else, but the money is good. He doesn't have an education, but he doesn't know where to go when he's depressed. And sometimes when I get the truckers, will say, look at the trees and embrace the sun, and you're out with nature and get back to God. But what would you tell somebody that really wants to change after, let's say he's been driving for 20 years and it's all he knows, or somebody's just a teacher in a high school, but wants out, and they don't know how to go to real estate or get into marketing, or they want out of corporate and they want to go into private practice? How do you bridge them? How do you let them know that the faith will get them there one step at a time? What do you offer them comfort-wise to lead them?
Well, I think what I offer comfort-wise is to first do a deep dive into who you really are, what skills you do have, what your heart is really calling for, and what you've always wanted to do. And so we have to go back to looking at, I think, a bigger picture of you, of what your heart has really been asking for. So we really look at that. We look at what we need to let go of and what it would take to start a new life simultaneously. Sometimes you just can't walk from here to here.
No, you have to bridge. You have to stay
You have
away.
to have a bridge, but you
Yeah.
have to start to wake up to that sense of passion. So part of it is awakening to your need, to your purpose, awakening to what brings you passion and joy, and rediscovering that, which will then help you tap into your next career, your next life.
Yeah, people think, you're stuck for 30 years, you retire and that's it. No, we keep going and going and going and going. I met somebody on the trip that's 34, and I said, you just keep going in this body. You just keep going 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years and more. You just keep going on this journey. Rebel, do we have other photos that I sent, or was that the majority of what I offered you from Joan of Angels? There we go, the dog.
Oh, that's Max. Oh, that's my dear friend's
Those
dog.
eyes. Do you still have them?
I don't have, that was my friend's dog, Max, and I painted that for her.
I love that the soul in the eyes comes through, but my favorite out of all are these two giraffes. I love this.
I'm a
There's
giraffe.
so much love and spirit and joy in this. I may buy a copy. I have 2 elephants, and now I see these 2 giraffes. There's something about your giraffes that speak. Talk about how this came to be. I love this. Is this in demand? Is this popular?
This is one of my it's one of my most favorites, and it is in demand.
Yep.
There's another giraffe on the site too. So I started, I don't know, there was a time, I remember what happened. I was at Conscious Life Expo and I met a medium, and she did a reading for me. And she said at the end, she said, I see you doing more animals. And that time I was only doing angels. And I said, animals, huh? And I went home, I swear, but within a month I had painted this giraffe, and I have a giraffe fetish. I love giraffes.
I have a friend that has the giraffe totem, and everything's giraffes, little babies. Every time I see a giraffe, I think of this person who I worked with on a show years ago on TV. And there's something so magical about these tall giants that are so gentle. Go on, let's hear about it.
Not only are they gentle, but they're the only animal that can cry real tears.
Elephants.
And they can cry real tears. It's amazing. And they can see 360 degrees around. And I'm a big picture person. I always like to tell my clients, I'm taking you up to the mountain. We're going to be at the Joan of Angels Cafe at the top up there and looking out. And that's what giraffes do. They look out among the world. They can see everything of what's going on. And that's the best way to be able to make any kind of decision, is to be able to see with 360-degree vision. So I started painting those giraffes, fell in love with those giraffes, and then I did some digital enhancements to a few of them, and they're my favorite. They're just my favorite. Giraffes bring love.
When I saw that one, and then there was one other one with the red. I don't know if we have a copy of it, but there was a big heart or more hearts. Do we have any other hearts there, Rebel? I don't remember what else I gave you, but those giraffes were like the ones when I saw that. Oh my God. No, we already did that one. I thought there might have been another. No, we did that. These are just examples of what Joan of Arc has drawn people on her website, joanofangels.com. You can see many more paintings that have been drawn. You also have a book out, right?
I do. I have a book that I wrote a few years ago called The Miracle Makers Club. And that is the book, the story of how my kids and I lost everything. And I lost my chiropractic practice. I was injured. And how
what happened? Wait, back up. Go slow. Talk about your experience, because it's like going through we have problems in life. Not everybody just gets up and succeeds. Everybody thinks you just go and it's a straight line with a few wiggles, but most people don't realize it's like this. You think you're going this way and you end up this way, but then you get back when you're supposed to, if you're open. Talk about what happened. Talk about the trauma.
So I lost my chiropractic office. I was in an accident and injured, and I could no longer practice. And at that time I lost everything. So I had to really rebuild my entire life based on coming to terms with who I am without that chiropractic practice. And so that was a huge transformation. It took me many, many years. And in 2000, but my kids and I formed a group we called the Miracle Makers Club, because I had been into masterminding for years and positive thinking. That's how I built such a successful practice. And now I lost it. And the only people I had to support me were my two kids, my 8-year-old and my 10-year-old. So I turned to them, and together we formed what we called the Miracle Makers Club. And every night we'd come together and we'd say, this is my two kids. It was so incredible. We'd hold hands, we would chant, we would, visualize what we wanted. And my daughter says to me, she said, well, Mom, when we get our beautiful house again, etc., will we be able to go around the world and teach this to other families so they wouldn't have to suffer like we did? And that is how my book came about, The Miracle Makers Club. We ended up going on to win a major lawsuit. I know it was through this Miracle Makers Club that we actually won the lawsuit. And we went on to, I wrote the book, The Miracle Makers Club, and formed a group, The Miracle Makers Club. Yes.
That's wonderful. Sometimes it's the worst adversity that we're reborn. And that's what happened to me in the plane crash when I got hit by a fire truck. Then I totaled the car. The white light experience was given the choice to live or die. I had become very psychic. I ran for 12 years. I didn't embrace it. I have a friend of mine I've been working with since 2004 who's a chiropractor who had a near-death experience in a horrible accident, and how he heals people. He heals me. I heal him. We work on each other to help, because, as a healer, especially, take on a lot of negative energy, and you have to release it yourself in order to be the helper. So there was a lot of people who help that had to go through the trauma in order to ascend into the light workers or the starseed purpose. You were on path, you got jolted, as was I. Started in healthcare, but then I was ascended, as were you. And I think it's fabulous. So Rebel, can you find anything on joanofangels.com that we can add to the visual here? There's so much art, and we can't show any of the clips.
I'd love to show you the Soul Essence portrait. There's a short video that's on the website, on the art website.
She can pull it up, because she's entered in the show. I don't know. I haven't. This is something we don't normally do, because I usually put in a couple of samples for the guests and produce it in a very minimal manner. But let's see if she can't pull it up. She's been known to do some great stuff. But as far as teaching, are you planning to do more seminars online besides like on YouTube, or is it you just focus and you interview as you go along each day? Do you have a set routine, or is it sort of spontaneous?
I'm relaunching my show next month. So my show's been offline for about 6 months because I've been traveling so much.
Yeah, you have.
Who knew if I would have even, internet to do this? So, but I'm relaunching a new show probably May 1st after.
Oh, good. After the retrograde.
After the hear from me, we'll have you on it. Oh, I love this one.
Here we go. Thank you. I love this number 3. It's kind of Egyptian meets modern day. Top number 3, Rebel, right there. Let's open that up for a second and bring that full screen.
That one won't open up.
Okay, who is she?
So she's a high Egyptian priestess.
I can see the Egyptian, but there's something very contemporary about her as well, and the wisdom and the circle around the eye lets you know that she's watching. Let's go to the bottom, number 3, but the big heart again. There's the red heart on the 3rd level. There we go. Thanks. And what were you thinking or feeling or channeling when this heart came through, kind of like out in the mountain area or like on a planet? I don't know. You got a lot going on in the background. What is that?
This is Heartland. Land of
that's what I just said. Yeah.
It's really the land of hearts.
I love all of this.
And I'm inviting you to that. I know, it's art for your heart.
I love it. Art for your heart. No, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. You should be so proud of all the work that you do. Who's he? Like the little Adonis. Yeah, right there. Who is he?
Isn't he an Adonis right now?
Yes, he's an Adonis.
The sword of Michael.
One.
Believe it or not, he's actually the Michael that comes to me. I have a handsome Michael.
Oh, yes, he's handsome. All right. He looks like he'd be on a Hallmark movie or something. Now let's go over up to the angel with all the colorful wingspan. Right? Nope. Come down, number 3. Now go over right there, the rainbow. Come down, rebel. Come now. Nope. Up. That's going up. Come down. Come down. Come down. One more. There you go. Right. Yes.
I knew you were talking about her.
Yes.
So that's part of a new series, the Rainbow Angels. I wanted lighthearted angels. Some of my angels seem so serious this life, and I was asking for, show me some of the guardian angels, children's angels, and that's how she came through.
Well, she looks like she just wants to hug everybody and embrace you with light and love, where there's protection and that there's nothing to worry about. And you're just, floating in air with love. I can just see it. Now, next to her, is that a woman with a harp or an instrument? What's going on here? I can't see the whole photo.
So actually, that's a Krishna.
Okay.
And that was an image that I took out of one of my original paintings of Krishna. And he was so cute that I just played with him and kind of separated him out to bring him to the world. A naive innocence, very playful, very uplifting.
Innocence. There's an innocence. I didn't see him as a male. I see him as a female. I have my glasses on. At the end of that, well, on each side, on the end, you've got kind of like community, or you're going through a city or a dwelling. So where are you in these utopian type of hallways or streets? So on the left.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the one on the left. Let's start with the one on the left of your Krishna.
So these are mystical landscapes. These are when I'm working and I want to be shown what would it be like if I was in the 5th dimensional plane in a city far away, and it really, what does it look like over there? And that's kind of what the kinds of answers that I get. A lot of angles, a lot of walls, a lot of overlapping. It's kind of like a Harry Potter experience, if you ever watched Harry Potter.
No, I didn't. I chose not to, but it's all channeled because it's all in existence on the other side, which I have seen as a medium since 1996 when I started mediumship. I don't do it anymore. I retired in 2018. But a lot of what comes through is because we've all been there or seen it, and it's not really made up. It's just like Stephen King. He's been through a lot of stuff. He didn't just have this imagination. He channels those books from a different dimension, just like you channel these beautiful artworks through a different dimension because of your past lives and where you are now and what you're doing to inspire this new generation, especially because you and I come from a certain generation. Now with the digital world, we're talking to a whole new population demographic of people, and we're all helping each other worldwide in a whole much broader sense because of the digital world, whereas before we were more limited, whether it was terrestrial radio or if it was just speaking, and it was long before you could teleprompt something universally without a lot of equipment. Now it's so simple. You've been given a gift and you've got probably years left of information to go. Are you going to do another series of books? Because I think you're going to have more art going into another book is what it looks like.
Yep, I think so. I'm going to start this summer putting the art into different books. And
so see it. I get 3 more books.
Okay. All right. Well, 3 more books starting this summer. At least 3 more books. Yes.
Yeah, volumes. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 with just the art. You don't have to really say much. It says itself. And I think you'll do quite well with it. Where can people reach you if they want to contact you at joanofangels.com, or is there a phone number or an email on top of it? What's best?
joanofangels.com is great. You can always contact me through that. joanofangels@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram at Joan of Angels, Facebook at Joan of Angels. Everything is Joan of Angels, so you can't lose me.
Who gave you that, or did you come up with that at one point through all the channeling? How did it come to you that your name is Joan and then you became Joan of Angels because of the angelic realm or the angelic contact? What happened?
It's a beautiful story. I was told in 2015 I had to move to the desert so I can open up my channels to here. So I it was really interesting. I ended up moving to the desert June 1st or 2nd, 2015. The next day I was having breakfast with a friend of mine from LA. She was introducing me to her friend in the desert, and we're sitting there and she goes, "What did you say your name was?" And I started to say Dr. Joan Hingarter. That was my name. And she goes like, "Say nothing." And I swear the whole restaurant went quiet. And she said, I know who you are. You're Joan of, now by then, I thought she was going to say Ark. She said, Joan of Angels.
I love this.
And
Oh my
my
God.
heart
Yeah,
started
your
singing.
chills. Yeah.
My heart started singing, Linda, and it was like, that was it. Now, I will say this, it took me 7 years to step into what that meant. It's one thing to be given a name, a powerful name like that and an avatar. It's another to actually step
Become into it. Yeah.
into it and what it means. And that was where my ascension happened very rapidly. My inner transformation as I really pushed myself to understand what my mission was as Joan of Archangel, basically. I'm the only Joan of Angels on the planet also, which is kind of interesting. I'm trademarking my name, but I feel very privileged to have this.
Yes.
And my guides are always
a-
reminding me, that I have an assignment and an assignment, and I take it very seriously.
Yeah, and you've got a lot more to do. It's kind of like you said, stepping into it. When I was in the plane crash, I can identify with a similar thing because for at least 6 years, I knew I was psychic that day from the walk-in, because when I slid down the ramp, this loud entered this, my body went out and my soul left and the whole thing took place. But I didn't know. I was 40 feet out of my body I was 50 feet out of my body for 4 months. I was like a cyclops, but until it all integrated, and then I tried to figure out what to do with it. It's a transformation that people don't understand, that when you're going through trauma, PTSD, changes, losing your job, losing your career, your identity, and all of a sudden you're forced into a new purpose. It's like being in the rinse cycle of the washer. You're just being redone. And then all of a sudden the gates of light open up again. It's like, oh my God. It's hard to tell somebody when they're in the middle of the storm that you can see through the eye of the storm, but they will get through it if they trust the process. A lot of people give up. A lot of people don't step into their brilliance. A lot of people are more comfortable staying the victim, or they don't want to look deep, as I know you find that in some of your patient clients. Even with chiropractic, a lot of people are too afraid of you cracking their neck and they'd hear the explosion of the oxygen going through the bones where you really weren't breaking their bones. But there's fear in healing. There is. A lot of people don't want to get well. They don't. You're in a healing field. And a lot of people fight it. No, I'm okay. No, I don't need this. No, I don't need that. Then you give them a taste of it, and all of a sudden they're hooked. All of a sudden they grow. All of a sudden the seed's been watered. Now they want to open up. It's a process for most people. Then you find the people like at the Conscious Life Expo and other entities that are so already enlightened that there's a thirst that they can't get enough. They want more, 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 more. And then we all collide together and we're sharing books and ideas and shows, and there's a whole new consciousness just being around the conscious people. Then you go back out there and it's like, okay, starting over and doing your thing. It's the collective, and a lot of people don't see that. I do, you do, but our job is to bring it all together to help people migrate to that level. I want to thank you for coming on today. I'm going to do a little bit more on my health end here. But Joan, in closing, what would you like to tell people who may be watching this later on? And you're also welcome to take the video and use it for what you want.
Oh, I love that idea. Great. You know what I want to tell everyone? I think that you've been called here for a purpose. Honestly, we are all here together. We all have something specific that's really unique to each and every one of us. And our time is now. These are the times, 2024 and going beyond, for which you were called. And so if you can step into your purpose, if you can begin to access your gifts, your skills, and understand that this is the time for you to start to use them, then that benefits Dr. Linda and myself too, because the earth lifts up all together organically. And if you come together with who you are and you begin to know and lift up your energy, it will lift up ours as well.
We all work together. That's the collective. Would you mind staying backstage for about 10 minutes while I do my thing, and then I'll bring you back and you can just listen to what's going on? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
All right. This
Thank
is
you
Joan
so
of
much.
Angels.
Bye, everyone.
That's Joan of Angels, joanofangels.com. Feel free to look her up on Instagram, YouTube. She's got phenomenal artwork, as I showed you a few of the photos that we exhibited a few moments ago. If you want to purchase some of them or have a session with her, it's all there on her website at joanofangels.com. Now, since I've been gone for a couple of weeks, I want to bring us up to date with some of what's going on. Wicks of Wisdom, by the way, is on sale. You buy one set, you get the second at half off. So Wicks of Wisdom, if you mention the Joan of Angels show, you'll get 50% off your set of Wicks of Wisdom. I have been collecting some testimonies that are going in the book as we publish probably by summer, with all the testimonials from channeling the people over the last 30 years, the testimonies of my readings, the testimonies of the Wicks of Wisdom, the candle magic, and how I've been helping to heal people in my world. So the Wicks of Wisdom, in case you don't know, are 3 candles with essential oils, bottles of oils. You get the oils, the herbs, the powders. You get a petition. You get 3 actually. And I teach you what to write on the petition that gets burned in the flame with the oils, herbs, and powders. One of the people in Switzerland recently left a testimony that he had been to the doctor, had ultrasounds. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with them, did some health candles, and he's healed. Another woman was bleeding, needed a hysterectomy, did the candles, we stopped the bleeding. There's a woman in Portugal who gets headaches and has had some family conflicts. I do the candles for her rather than shipping, and everything's calming down, and a lot of the trauma and drama that she was experiencing is settling so that she's not as affected by the negativity of what she's been experiencing. If you need money, love, moving, travel, health, peace, to move through dysfunctional situations, lawsuits. I help people win lawsuits all the time. This Thursday, you will be listening to me interview a woman by the name of Kelly, who we did several sets of candles. She had a lawsuit going. She was up for 20 years in federal prison. She was to be sentenced. And with the help of the Wicks of Wisdom that I did, she got off. And even her lawyer said he'd never seen anything like it in 40 years of practice. So you're going to want to tune in Thursday to me interviewing Kelly about keeping her out of jail for 20 years after burning several sets of the Sweetening Judgment and Good Luck Power candles that sort of manipulated the legal system in her favor. Wicks of Wisdom work. It's spiritual. It comes from Kabbalah and it comes from Santeria. I put the two together, remove the mystique of the occult, and I have magic for you. They're all on my website at lindasalvin.com. You need a petition consultation along with the candle sets. So you know what to write on the petition so you get the ultimate results. I will have a discount on the readings and healings this month as well to make up for time lost. So just mention the Joan of Arc show and you will get the discount. But you would need to call me, not to book it online because I don't have the coupon. Now, lastly, as far as the Tuesday show is concerned, I go into the health and wellness and I talk about the nutritional products that I take. One is based on DNA. You only get a barcode. This product is customized and clinically dosed for your body based on your DNA codes. We get we swab our cheeks, we send the swabs to the lab. In turn, you get a chart of 18 genes from what you've inherited from your mother and father. The yellow represents one side of the family, the red represents inherited from both sides of the family, and the green is what we are born with. And all the different genes are fed the proper nutrients that we need in order to heal. We got a person off of dialysis, his kidneys are fine. The former CEO who had autoimmune disease is perfectly fine. My own blood levels have changed. My lipids have gone down. My cholesterol's gone down. Depression has gone down. I've talked many times. I come from a family with 3 suicides. So there's a gene for depression, which is one of the red dots on my chart, which is the cardiovascular gene. It's called the motherfucker gene, actually. That's what it's called. But it hits the cardiovascular system. It hits the heart. It hits emotions. You got the SOD2 gene, which my mother had, which is for stroke, cancer, Parkinson's, and other neurological issues that affect our health. The more you feed your body the right nutrition, the healthier you're going to become. So if you do spiritual work, like with Joan and me, to fix how you feel, you also have to feed the body. It's one thing to feel better, but then your body, you don't want your lungs and kidneys and liver to fail, or your heart or your blood or your eyes, your neurological system or your sexual identity. I mean, whatever's going on, everything has a purpose. Everything's connected between the bones and the muscles and the cells and the tissues and the organs, and it all works. But if one part is out of whack, it's more or less related to the lack of nutrition for that part of your body. I wasn't meaning sexual identification had anything to do with the genes, because that's not what this is about. So that was a wrong slip of the tongue here. But you will feel sexier and your libido will enhance because you'll be nutritionally fed. The other product I have, which I don't have in front of me, is the detox of the glyphosates. As you know, glyphosates are poisoning us in the air, our water, the food that we eat. They're feeding the cattle and well, not only that, but they're mixing insects with the chicken now. I mean, there's so much going on. But in the ground, in the fertilizer, you've got the glyphosates coming in from all the sprays, and even Bill Gates, Oprah, Katy Perry, they raised the $7 million to start Appeal, which is the bug spray for the organic gardens and crops. It's still going into your body as poison. You're still ingesting plastic, poison, weed killer. Roundup is the big one. But now they're making one that's more organic. It's not, people. It's not helping. It's just prolonging the rotting and color change of the fruits and vegetables. So your apple may stay green longer because it's coated. It can't be washed off under the water. What was it? In December, I went to Washington, D.C., and I bought a bag of carrots. It is now March. Those carrots, I threw them out yesterday. They're still there. They look the same. They didn't rot because it's not real. I don't know what we're eating. Do you know what we're eating? I have no clue what we're ingesting anymore. All I do know is that when Sharon was on with us, Sharon Winters, we would talk about each of us is consuming the equal amount of one plastic credit card per week. You think about your coffee, you think about where you're storing your food, you think about toothpaste tubes, everything's plastic. We're ingesting that on top of everything else. I have the cleanse. I want to detox the body. It took 90 days. I fought it last year. I would not turn back time at all because of how my body has reacted to letting go of the toxicity. And that's what I want you to do for prevention. It's all about health prevention. I'm into holistic prevention and the integrative health practices, not just the psychic and spiritual and the mediumship end. That's one part, just like the candles is one part, but I'm here for you in the whole, which is holistic. Just like Joan, it's holistic. It's treating the whole body, mind, body, spirit. So we're coming to the end of the show. You can find me at lindasalvin.com. You can go back and look at joanofangels.com, and you can call me at 888-509-1077 or shoot me an email at drlinda, DRLINDA, at lindasalvin.com. I'll be back tomorrow with Candy Finnegan. We're going to be talking about the difference between a slip and what's the name of the show, Rebel? Between a slip and a relapse. So we'll do the Recovery Wednesday show tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll be talking again to a woman whose candles saved her 20 years of life in prison. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. This is the Psychic Solutions Podcast. I'll talk to you real soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.